What is up, everybody? I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
We're with Hill City Paranormal. Tonight, we have a little bit of a special all things paranormal. We're going to talk a little bit paranormal, but a lot of tech talk. So Sean and Ron, I'm going to try not to say that too much so I don't get tongue-tied. Sean and Ron are going to be taking the lead on this one, being that Sean is the tech guy on our team. And I know that we've purchased equipment from Ron. So Sean, I'm going to go ahead and let you take the lead on this one.
Well, let's start with Ron. How you doing tonight, Ron?
I'm fine. How are y'all?
Oh, we're doing great, man. It's great to have you on. We're gonna I'd like to start with Ron. Where are you from? Tell us how you got started and what it is that you do.
Well, I'm from North Carolina. Moved up to Virginia when I was a kid. Spent most of my life up here. My family moved back to North Carolina, so I decided to stay here. It's where my friends were. As for the paranormal, ever since I was little, I've been haunted by the Hat Man. And it led me into wondering who he was, why he was with me, and it just evolved from that.
Okay.
Can you elaborate a little bit? I've heard a lot about the Hat Man. So, I had sent a photo over to a paranormal photographer recently, and he wrote back and said, the Hat Man. And I said, what is the Hat Man? So for those that are kind of like me that ask the same question, what is the Hat Man? Can you elaborate a little bit?
Well, there's several theories. Some of them think that it's because he comes to warn you of and doom that's lurking or coming by. Others have stated that aliens is the best way to say it, that they use that image of the Hat Man so he doesn't intimidate you as much. You feel more at ease. But the truth is, it's sheer terror. You can't move. You just see him. I see him with red eyes. Some people see him with different color eyes. And the best way to say it is think of you on an airplane, the airplane's crashing. That fear you have going through your body, knowing what's getting ready to happen, can't even amount to the fear and terror that you feel when you're open your eyes and there he is and you can't do anything. So there's a theory, there's more of it where the guy, he comes to you, it's hard to describe unless you do it. Unless you've had that feeling of him there and see him.
Right.
Now, I'm trying to put it into words, but it's hard too.
It's almost like a sleep paralysis, or
some people say it's a sleep paralysis, but I know I'm awake. He has been in my dreams, and I've been wide awake, and I've seen him in the corner staring at me, and your body just freezes.
And nothing. He doesn't approach you. He just is lurking.
He just stands there. Yeah.
Interesting.
There have been, I think, a couple reports where they said he's moved. Mm-hmm. There's been a couple reports where there's been two shadow figures with him. But when I see him, he's always alone.
Gotcha. And this still happens currently to this day.
Yep.
And this has been your whole life.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a multiple times a year. Sometimes it may be once a year. And it's gone a while where it wasn't any. A couple years passed. And I found out about 2 years ago that my father saw him too. My mother was telling me, oh, he passed away a few years ago, and we were talking about it. And she's told me, well, he doesn't have to worry about that shadow guy torturing him anymore. And I said, let me guess, he wears a hat. And she went, oh, you have them too? So that validated it for me.
Right.
And I mainly got into paranormal because I do hear spirits, I see spirits. They pop words into my head. I can sense them, but I want to know what's the difference between the two.
Right.
So do you have a team, or is it just you, or how do you roll? Like, how does it work?
It's me and my wife Michelle. There's also my sister Renee and her husband Perry, and then we have the wife's in-laws or daughter's wife's parents. They're Paul and Susan, and they come with us too. So we have
Okay,
like 6 people.
Awesome.
that's a good number.
Yeah.
Small team.
And I love the name Boo's Paranormal. You can't get any more spookier than that, Ghost Boo.
Yep,
Is that
that came from when I was little. My mom called me Boo Boo, and me and Michelle call each other Boo. And
oh, I love it.
with I came up with paranormal booze, and Michelle liked booze paranormal better, so we went with it. It's kind of a twist of everything: a little haunting, a little comedy, and just some background from our heart, that we grew up with.
Yeah, I've got one of your stickers on one of my cases, one of my many cases I've got. So yeah, it's a pretty cool name.
I like it.
Thank
So,
you.
how did you get into equipment making? How did that start?
Well, we went to Belgrove for an investigation, and actually Jason Gray from GI Paranormal was there, and he had an SLS camera that he purchased. And I got to looking at it, and I said, I think I could make that. It's simple. So that was actually the first thing I made. And after that, I just saw other items that, I can make that. I can do something like that. And that got it all started.
Okay. Yeah, Ronnie just said Ron makes great equipment. They have two 360 static detectors. I got my 360 static detector too, and I've been using it on every investigation. And so far, I've had good success with it.
I appreciate it. It's probably the top seller.
I like my 360. So, what do you have a tech background in tech? Like, is that what you do?
Well,
Electronics, or is that?
I do a little of everything. I did computer repair. I was a fire mechanic. I worked on emergency vehicles, and that got me a grasp of just about everything, electronics down to wiring. But right now I'm doing thermal spray equipment for a company called Unique Coat Technologies, where I'm actually building kiosks, control systems, and everything. So that gave me my biggest background, just trial and error through learning. What do they call it? The trade skill, I guess, the word I'm looking for.
So we all know, everybody who knows you, and those of you who are tuned in and don't know about your equipment, we all love your 360 static detectors. That's, I think, I actually seen yours. I think S-Lock had one. He was carrying around one. It might have been one of yours. I don't know, but that's the first one I've seen. I just had to get one. I think I even drove to get it. I didn't even let you mail it to me. But what else is your biggest seller? What else do you? What's your next best seller?
I've sold a couple of quite a few of the new the BP-IRC night cameras. That's becoming very popular, and it's a very little handheld grip camera that does perfect at night. We took it to Sweet Springs, and it recorded great. But that's a hot one. I've got several of my custom REM pods out there that are sold. What else? A couple of just the little like door hanger REM pods that just kind of like they put on hotel walls and everything. They sell, and the SLS cameras, they were probably been the biggest ones.
All right, so I want to talk about two of your items mainly, and I'm not going to keep you too long. I know you got to get up super early, and I want to thank you now for taking the time to talk to us and get your products out there. But the static meter, number one, I love it. I'm gonna say I can't say it enough. I can't say it enough, but I love it. But the static meter, how does it work? Um, exactly, like how does that thing detect ghosts? I would love for you to tell everybody how it works. No, you don't have to tell us the specs because I don't want anybody copying you. But
Yeah,
how does it work?
I get you. It actually reads the static charge in the air. The
Okay.
stronger the static charge, the higher the wave of the sweep of the rods is. Red being the strongest signal, blue being the weakest signal. So a spirit can technically walk up to it, find out when you say you say light the green lights up. It can manipulate itself to where it's in the chart. It's in a field where the green lights light up. That's they walk up to it and instantly goes to red and stays there. They don't know that they can move around, so they actually have to learn a little bit about it before they can actually control it. But that's basically the way it works. It just reads the static in the air and displays it kind of in a range of lights. It's the simplest way to put it.
So basically, it detects when there's a presence around.
Yes.
Okay.
In theory, I can't say it is or does work because I don't have a spirit here saying, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah.
In order for that thing to go off, there has to be some static electricity around.
Exactly. And if you're in nowhere where there's nothing at, chances are,
So if I'm in an old abandoned house and there's no power, no electricity, and I'm not near it, I'm 10 feet away from it.
Or a cemetery.
Or a cemetery
exactly.
where there's no power, it's sitting on the grass in front of a gravestone, and that thing starts lighting up out of nowhere and moving colors around. In theory, there's something there that's manipulating that.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you can sit, static does freely move through the air. So yes, it could be that it's something static, but when you say, "Can you light the yellow lights up?" and it lights the yellow lights up, that static just didn't pass by saying, "Oh, I'm yellow right now for y'all."
Or stay lit up for a amount of time.
Exactly.
If it flashes and goes off, then you could wrap that up to being as static passing by. But if it's staying lit up and moving colors and manipulating it, that's completely different.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to clarify for anybody who's listening that might want to purchase one. Hint, hint.
I appreciate that.
We're asking questions here.
Yeah.
I want to get it out there because I love mine. I've got, I use mine on every investigation, and I'm still that guy. I know a lot of the professionals and a lot of the guys who are way past what they say. They're way past the ghost hunter point or whatever they want to say. We're still the ones that when we're bored, we'll go hit a cemetery. And I know that a lot of people argue that there's no ghost in a cemetery. I get it, but I've done things and seen things that prove different. I've seen where ghosts go where the hell they want to go. I've seen that thing light up in a cemetery, and no one can answer why.
And when asked to go to a specific color, it's gone to that specific color.
Yeah, so I've seen your product work in a cemetery, and to my belief, and I'm talking abandoned cemeteries where there's nothing around it. There's no power.
No houses.
I'm standing away from it. It's not working, and it's staying lit up out of nowhere.
Well, so, I know there's spirits in the cemetery. I've actually seen them when I was little.
Yep.
I've seen a lady walk, and I've seen an old man walking, and you look again, and where'd they go? And that's before I kind of tuned in on everything. I thought it was someone there.
Right.
And so I know they're there. So
I put a disclaimer out there because, like I said, a lot of veteran I'm not saying they're wrong.
We've been ridiculed for
yeah.
investigating cemeteries, and that's fine because, you know, one, I'm going to investigate where I want to investigate. If I want to go out in my driveway and start a full-on investigation, that's what I'm going to do because that's what I want to do.
Exactly.
But, you know, a lot of people do kind of frown down upon those who investigate cemeteries. Now, we go to cemeteries with nothing but love and respect. We don't ever desecrate or disrespect the dead at all. You know, a lot of the time we'll research like a crime, and then we'll go and find where that person is buried and try to get some answers or something like that, you know, or an unsolved death or something like that. But I've seen the static meter work in the cemetery and actually start at red, go to green, go, and then I say go back to red, and it has. I physically watched it.
Yeah.
You know, I've also seen it completely light up in a circle as though something was just pacing around.
And I've seen every light up and stay lit up.
Yeah.
See, theoretically, it's not designed to do that, and that's what has amazed me. It's supposed to be a strength meter, and each individual light is supposed to light up. So when multiple ones are lighting up, it's not designed that way.
Right.
See, and then it makes you wonder if multiple spirits are there.
Yeah.
But spirits can manipulate anything to do whatever they want it to do.
This is true.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's a great product, and I know it's like probably your hottest product because the design on it is great. Number one,
it's sturdy.
It's very sturdy. It doesn't look sturdy at all. Like if you get it, you're like, holy crap, this thing's gonna break. But once you get to handling it and bring it out in the field, I want to say it is very sturdy. So it's very well built.
I like the size.
I like the size. I love the size of it. You see these bear claws right here? It fits in my hand very, very well.
Ronnie said it best right there. Shout out Ronnie, Bedford Paranormal. He said, well,
what's up, Ronnie?
My opinion is there's no experts in this field. We should all do research wherever and however we want.
Amen.
And that is exactly the mentality that I believe every paranormal team needs to carry in their back pocket at all times, because none of us, we're all out for the one ultimate goal. What? To get answers to the unknown.
We want research. We're all scientists, so
right?
To speak. Yeah.
So, you know, how somebody researches, how somebody chooses to investigate, you know, I'm all for it. Yeah. I am all for it. You know, we've had a lot of people on our podcast, all walks of life, and I love it. I love the stories because I learned something new. You know, I've heard about the Hat Man for years. But I've never actually spoke to somebody that has personal experience with the Hat Man. And so to me, that's very amazing. And what you just caused is now when I get off this podcast, I'm going to do a bunch of research.
Oh, yeah. Research it. There's great history behind it. All the way back to ancient times. He was been around and they all describe him the same way. And they didn't have that style hat back then.
Right.
So have you ever used your equipment to research this hat guy? Like, has he ever made any of your equipment go off that you had?
I've never seen him like that. Like I said, he comes to me. Usually I'm waking up and I see him, or I'm, you know, I go take a leak, excuse the expression, but coming back, I'll lay back in bed and there he is in the corner, just standing still. Never says anything, but I can't get out of bed to grab equipment to do anything.
Right.
I've asked about him. You know, I've said, come prove who you are. I've tried egging him on, but it's like he just picks a certain time, say, hey, be terrified for the next 20 minutes. I'm here.
See, and Ronnie says he has a Hat Man story, so this Hat Man must be popular.
Must be. Something.
Didn't they make a movie like The Slender Man or something? Wasn't that supposed to be about the Hat Man?
Maybe so. We got to do
that. It was probably a spinoff on it.
Yeah, because that movie was a little bit creepy.
Well, I believe every horror movie is a spinoff of something that really happened.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. Obviously, and probably personal experiences to the director.
So, Ronnie, do you want to talk about anything you have in the works?
Well, as you know, I have
You got one in the works, and I'm waiting on mine.
Well, I'm working on it. I just completed a big order
Are you allowed?
for Project Zero.
Are you allowed to talk about that yet?
Oh yeah, I can talk about it. It's the RW-1 spirit detector. It
Oh.
actually sends out ultrasonic signals in 180 degrees. It just goes 1 by 1 degree till it goes from 0 to 1 to 180. And when it hits a signal, it marks on an LCD screen the distance from it and how many hits it received total. So you can go up to about 4 foot with it, and it will mark in centimeters how far the signal was from you. And we've tested it at the cabin, got great results at the cabin. It had one solid bar as it was sweeping around about 2 foot away, and there was nobody there. It was in the middle of the room. Everyone was next to the wall. And the next sweep, when it came by, it wasn't there. I put it in the brick rancher, and as soon as I put it down, it got a hit facing forward, and we were in the middle of the brick rancher, and it was facing the wall towards the log cabin, and it got a hit. So I've been very impressed with it, really.
So have you heard of the is it the GS2 meter that Ghost Stop sells?
Yeah, it's very.
Is it similar? That's my question.
Yeah, I kind of describe it very similar to that, but where theirs actually has like an LED grid that lights up red and blue depending on the distance it is. Mine actually does a sweep. That's the difference. Theirs is putting out like a straight signal, and it marks when it sees something and will light the LED up. Mine does a sweep of 180 degrees, 1 degree by 1 degree by 1 degree, and it will mark where it is.
Nice.
Yeah. And it will, like I said, I have it keeping a count, and the end goal is to make it just a nonstop sweeping back and forth without having to have a split second pause. It'd be more like a sonar than it is just a radar sensor now. Kind of like put a signal out and it will bounce back. But that's going to be down the road a little ways. I got to get all the kinks out of this one first, and actually I'm thinking of upgrading it a little to a faster processor so that it will take away some of the lag. But like I said, I've been very proud of it, and I've had videos posted on Boo's Paranormal about it. You can check it out. I mean, it's cool.
Is it on Facebook or YouTube or
Facebook? I've put a couple of little videos of it on it. Not long ones, just little brief, like here's it starting up, here's it detecting something. I've taken some pictures of it, but I want to make sure I've got it working perfectly before it goes out to the public. And that's why y'all are getting one of the beta testers as soon as I can get it finished and assembled so I can get feedback on it.
Awesome.
I can't wait to put it to test. I've got the perfect location for it. The perfect spot, and I just can't wait.
Well, I've got it about 50% built. I was just waiting on some parts to come in, and they came in the other day, but then I had the large order that I had to fill. So it delayed it a little.
So what are you doing for the future? Are you going to grow your company as far as products, or are you sticking with what you're making now?
I'm trying to grow. I'm in the works of having kind of like a mate to the RW-1. It's a new concept I thought of with the music box. Everybody seems to love the music box, but it just trips and plays music. I'm trying to put a distance range in. When it's far away, the music box slowly plays. As something gets closer and closer and closer, the music box speeds up.
Kind of like Jack in the Box. You know how if you kind of like just hand crank one time, it's like do-do. And then if you get to going, do like faster and faster. That would be
exactly.
That would be wicked.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I love a music box. I do. Don't get me wrong. That's, one of my go-to pieces of equipment. But when you are investigating kind of a more compact location, such as a house, without fail, especially if your whole team is there, somebody is going to trip that music box, and you will hear on camera, it's just me going by the music box.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me want to put it away, because I'm just like, if everybody's going to be walking in that general direction, then we just don't need to use it at this point.
Yeah.
So, if you could get one that's something that's similar to that, like that Jack in the Box slow, that would be wild.
Yeah. Just think if it was
awesome.
4 foot away, like you said, do.
Yeah.
And the closer it gets, and it's not going to stay running like some of the music boxes do. Once there's nothing in front of it, it's going to stop. It's not going to play for 4 or 5 seconds.
Right.
I want it when it detects something, it plays until there's nothing there.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that would be really good. There's so many different ideas and things that's out there that can improve, especially in my mind. I'm not a creative person. Well, I'm creative, but I don't have the tech skills to make it happen. So I got to call people like you and say, hey, can you do this?
That's why I said I welcome the ideas. What is it? Ghost Stop just came out with that candle. And
Yeah,
Ronnie wants me to see if I can build my own version of something like that for him. So I told him, sure, send me a candle.
I saw that.
I'll try it out.
We did go to Ghost Stop when they dropped the candle, because I like the idea of the candle. We go to a lot of older locations that if I say, can you touch the REM pod? What the spirits don't know what the hell a REM pod is.
No.
So if I have something like that, so we took it a step further.
Yeah, we actually went and got antique lanterns to put the candle
in.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, we've got we found a lantern that was like 1800s. One was 1930s. And we got both of them, and both of them. One of them, it works off magnetic energy. So I took a magnet, and you can cut it on and off with a magnet. And I haven't tested it yet as far as in the field. That'll be this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be testing it out to see how it works. It doesn't work off any electrical stuff that you use. It's magnetic.
Like, we took our phones off of airplane mode. We put our phone up to it. We put.
I even put an EM pump up to it.
Yeah, I was going to say no effect.
It's a magnet.
The magnet was cutting it on and off. We put one in a lantern and set the lantern down on our fireplace. And I made Sean get up and cut it off, because we have a rule of thumb over here. We don't investigate our own house. And the darn candle was cutting on and off and on and off and on and off with nobody near it. So we're still.
But our house is haunted. Well,
yeah.
we know our house is haunted, but it's a pretty interesting thing.
I mean, there's a few things that I think definitely could change. They made this one out of real wax. It's a flameless candle, but the outside is real wax. So it comes with a disclaimer, like, don't leave this piece of equipment in your car on a 90-degree day. If you're going to wrap it up and put it in with your equipment, make sure it's wrapped in bubble wrap so it doesn't melt a little bit, stick to your other equipment. I'm not too fond of that. The fact that you could ruin my other equipment, but I mean, again, it could be prevented. We're just going to keep ours in bubble wrap. But I think
that was the first thing I told Ronnie when I found out it was made out of wax. I was like, what happens during the middle of summer? You're right before your investigation. Y'all run into the store to grab something to eat and come back out, and it's 200 degrees in your car.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So
I wouldn't be looking at anything that's actually wax. It would be just a plastic one that looked real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely, if you're going to make a prototype of that, definitely let us know.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of something more than off and on. I want something like EMF lights, maybe, you have a range of signals with LEDs pointing to the candle wick, and the candle wick tripping when the EMF detected in a certain range. But until then, you just watch kind of like the side ones light up. That was just an idea.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent idea.
For sure.
Yeah,
Ronnie said not a lot of thought went into that candle. The one I'm sending you is plastic. Awesome.
Well, good. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. When you come up with that candle, let us know. Shoot us a message. I'll definitely invest in that one for sure.
yeah, or have like the candle holder, and each candle light does something different.
Like a what is this thing
You know,
called? A
the
candle
multiple
brush or
candles.
something?
Yeah.
Dude, kind of like almost kind of like a candle tripwire. That's a cool idea.
But you have like the multiple candle holder, and each candle does something different. Like the ones on the edge detect EMF, the one on the middle.
Jason said the wax is a gimmick. I agree.
I do get it, but I think it's going to end up being a nightmare that stabs them in the back in the end.
I hope not, because I definitely, like I said, we went and got one just, for shits and giggles. Do you make any? Ronnie said, "We'll talk about my commission, Ron." Yeah, well, we're all going to need it by the end of all these ideas, right? Do you make any children trigger objects?
I have a couple bears that I've made, and they've done okay, but I really haven't used them a lot. We used them like 3 times, and I've gotten a little bit of stuff with them, but nothing strong. But I don't know if there were children there that would want to pick it up and hug it,
Right.
But I do have it, and I was thinking about making some kind of like toys, but I'm more into building something I know that's going to last more than that's a gimmick. Oh, look, this looks cool, and then you end up you end up buying it and not using it after that. I want something that you want to go to and grab every time.
Right. And, well, I mean, that's kind of how most investigators are with cat balls.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know very many investigators that don't have cat balls in their arsenal.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And
that's a simple, great little idea.
Yeah.
And it's easy to stash. The bears that I have are, about that big, and they just take up a lot of room.
Right. Is that a Chucky doll behind you?
Yes, it is.
Why don't you put something in Chucky?
Oh. I would kill myself if I took that out the box. But if I could find a used one, I might be able to do it.
Hey, eBay, man. eBay.
Exactly.
eBay's gotten expensive lately, though.
Oh, yeah. They're skyrocketing on everything. I actually found that one for $100, still in a box. Everybody else is asking $250 for it. So I snatched it up as soon as I got it.
Look, as long as it stays in that box when you go to bed and when you wake up, it's still in the box, you're okay.
That's right.
Jason said you have all kind of crazy stuff in your house.
Oh, yeah. I now have 3 haunted dolls. I've got a haunted teacup. And then I've got a lot of the, what's it called? Spirit of Halloween baby dolls and everything in the front room that Jason just loves.
Are you talking about the little zombie babies?
Yeah, little zombie babies.
We have those in our graveyard. We decorate our whole yard for Halloween, and we've got the zombie babies in our graveyard. So I know what you're talking about.
And then we have just some of the other little Halloween dolls that like Big Lots or Walmart put out that just have that creepy look. We have those 2 sitting up front, and they're out year round. They're like family to us.
Well, we just ordered a lot of Raggedy Ann dolls, and so we're not 100% sure if we're not bringing in some haunted dolls in our house.
I got a Raggedy Ann doll too. I had to have one.
I just found a lot for like $20 on eBay. A lot of like the original ones. They're not the first ones, but they're like the 20s and 30s. Cool. Raggedy Ann dolls. Some lady had them for. She's like, make me an offer, so I offered her $20. So we'll see.
Ronnie Anders said that's the thing, making equipment affordable. I've made a music box and I know what it costs to make those, and people are making it. Absolutely, Ronnie. People are making a killing off of equipment. Equipment making right now is definitely
Yeah, Jason,
a lucrative, I don't know if that's the right word, like a lucrative business maybe. But I do know a competitive, that's the word I'm looking for. It's very competitive right now. You can go to your top dollar sellers and get a candle for $100. You can go to Etsy, somebody's Etsy shop, and get, a similar candle, just not made out of real wax, for maybe $50. I've seen, or like, Ghost Stop's Boo Buddy is almost $400. But I can go find, a paranormal teddy bear from somebody who makes equipment on their own, for a fraction of the cost. Right now, Sean and I talk about it all the time. The UK is absolutely slaying the paranormal equipment. They're low cost. It's good quality so far. We've got several items from the UK, and I love them.
Yeah, the UK is great on equipment. But there are a lot of independent people that's making them. But there's a lot of great local people if you can if you can trust them.
Ronnie Rickard said, "I'll never buy anything else from Ghost Stop. Too expensive. It breaks. Ron makes better equipment at sensible rates." And that's what the key is, Ron. We in outside of the paranormal world, we prefer to support local. So, this is how, when we got the static meter from you, even though we took a 2-hour trek up the road to meet up with you.
John Sullivan.
Hey, John.
Shout out FPRI.
Yep.
Homies.
Even though we took the trek to come and get it, it was worth it to me, because I would have paid the difference, in gas anyway.
Yeah, that's what I do believe in. I do believe in trying to make stuff affordable. I know I do have some things that are the higher end, but that's just because the parts are expensive. But I try to have stuff for the newbies that, they don't have a lot of money, but they want some equipment. I have that price range, and then I go up from there with what you want. And I think that's just how I grew up. Be fair. Don't think that $15 part you just designed needs to be $300.
That is true, Ronnie. Ronnie said UK's been known to take your money and never send the equipment. Luckily, knock on wood, we have not ran into that. The people that we deal with in the UK, product comes, it's shipped in a reasonable time. And yes, Ronnie, Ghost Stop is local. And like I said, although I think that their prices are ridiculous, when their candle dropped, I went and got one. So, if it's a piece of equipment that I want, I'm going to go get it. And things like that. But I also would like to dabble in equipment that isn't just readily available at, like, say, Ghost Stop. Ghost Stop doesn't have the static meter.
Nope.
So, then we call Boo's Paranormal.
Thank you. No, I love their Flux. The Flux 2 they sell. It's like a yes and no box. I love that. I take it everywhere, so I'm not against Ghost Stop.
Right?
I haven't seen that.
That's a little triangle shaped one, right?
Little triangle. It has a red and a green light on the top, and it will detect temperature change, and also when something's in the range, it lights up to the red side or the green side. Cool. So you can, it's a great little item. And I'm happy to have fixed your REM pod, John. I hope it's been working great.
Yeah, when it comes to equipment, you did hit on something that I wanted to say. You talked about a newbie getting into this. That's my biggest thing about people who overcharge for equipment. I want to see the paranormal field grow. That's my biggest thing with the TV shows, the YouTubers, and everything. The paranormal field is growing. It's getting big. It's got people curious about the field and everything. When you have people out here who's raking people's pockets, it will deter any newcomer into the field because they don't understand. We all started with a flashlight and a cell phone. They don't understand that. So the problem is it'll deter people from that because they'll think you have to start off with a $600 obelisk, and they'll see that price and be like, "Oh, I'm not getting into this. Too much money." Exactly. They'll see that $250 REM pod, and they'll be like, "Oh no, I'm not touching that." And that's the problem with, I think, because I know it doesn't cost that much money to make those things. And so I feel like people like you who are making products for people who can afford it need to be broadcasted more on a bigger level and on a bigger platform. And yes, am I guilty of having a lot of these items that are overpriced? Absolutely. I'm guilty of it. I do have a lot of them, but also there are people out there who can't get their hands on this stuff and they think that's what they got to have. And people like you don't get pushed out there more. And that was the whole reason why I wanted you on our podcast, because I feel like people like you need to be out front more, because people can't afford, an item like the static meter. Really, if that's all you have to investigate with, that's great. I feel like stuff like a static meter, it will create great evidence. It will create great content. If you want to start a YouTube channel, it'll create great. If you're wondering if there's something in your house to have, I mean, you can take it anywhere. I got mine sitting in a case just because I'm very clumsy. But I honestly think that people who are building equipment, if you're watching this, happen to be watching this or stumbled upon this interview, listen to that man when it comes to prices on equipment. You don't have to gouge people. People will come to you if your prices are good and you build a good quality product. I don't think things have to be dirt cheap, but some of the stuff is ridiculous in these prices. So there's things out there that even whether I can afford it or not, if I can have 20 times the money in my pocket and I won't buy it just because it's a ridiculous price.
Yeah, one good example of that is the cat balls. Before people found out they were actual cat balls, people were asking $10 to $15 per ball, and you can get a 3-pack for $10.
Yeah,
$15 a cat ball.
Yeah, they were asking high money for those things.
Didn't we get like a 14-pack for like $15?
I was about to say, I got like a 14-pack on Amazon. Ron, you need to learn how to make cat balls, brother.
Ronnie said it can be profitable. Yes, Ronnie, it can be profitable. But, again, there's people out there that aren't price gouging and as Sean said, pocket raking. And those are the people that we need to really, bring to the forefront there. Booze Paranormal is one of them. But don't sell yourself short either.
Yeah.
If it costs you $100 to make it, don't sell the product for $99.
Exactly.
Jason Gray said you need to make cat balls and call it Ron's balls.
Well, they would be way too big for me to handle.
Ronnie Rickard said, with the static detector with the rods, I cut out a piece of foam that fits snug up against the rods so they don't break in my backpack. That's exactly what we did. We have ours in a foam case. We had a spare spot, and so we just cut out the foam and keep it in the foam case.
Yep.
Yeah, he showed me what he created, and I wished I could find out where he got everything, because I'd probably have as an add-on option. I mean, what he did looked very nice. I mean, you could carry it around.
Didn't you get your case fairly cheap on Amazon?
Yeah, I got my case for like $30
on Amazon, and it holds 2 static detectors.
Yeah, well, no, the thing that Ronnie made was kind of like a larger pool tube cut. So you just slide the tube onto the bottom of the 360.
He's telling on himself now.
That's the way to do it.
Isn't that a question they ask you like at interviews? Like, have you ever stolen a pen? At Ronnie's is going to be like, I stole foam.
I had to protect my static sensor.
Yeah, you are right. That's what I was trying to say. The equipment can be made with good quality and made affordable with a decent profit. Yes, you are correct, Ronnie. You are correct.
I just feel like, a lot of new people that want to get into this are going to be ran away because they see the prices that some of these other people are charging. And
well, we've had people reach out to us about that. And they said, we don't have equipment because we just simply can't afford it.
And I'll tell them, you can't afford it. You got to look at other places than one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like I have a budget 360. That's the lantern. It's like a modified camping lantern where the top of it has 8 of the LEDs instead of 16. And it's only $75. So it's made affordable for people who don't have a lot or just starting out.
Right.
Yeah.
And
well,
then
I want to send people to your basics. When somebody's wanting to start out and become a paranormal investigator, I always take them right on back to the basics. I said, do you have a cell phone? K2 meters, like what, $20 on Amazon?
mm-hmm.
I think they're like 13.
Yeah, you can get a K2 meter fairly cheap, a voice recorder fairly cheap. One of our best voice recorders we got at a pawn shop. I'm not going to lie. We walked in, we got it, we tried
$8.
Ronnie said he's sending you some foam. The stolen foam is coming with the candle.
Yay, thank you.
So, I think that's really what it is. Start with the basics and then find you an affordable equipment dealer, so to speak. And for those that are listening right now, we are talking with Booze Paranormal, your affordable paranormal equipment dealer.
And you're easy to contact. Yeah. That's another thing. Being easily accessible when there's a problem. Now, I fortunately have not had a problem with my product.
And tech support.
Tech support, yeah. I mean, it's durable. It's good quality. I haven't had any problems to reach out to you, but every time reached, when I've been wearing the hell out of you about when do I get to test out the new products, you've gotten back to me right away. That's another big thing.
I'm going to try to have that ready for you by the weekend if everything works out.
Awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Because I do want it out there, but I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No. You're not. This is your show.
Your show. I'm interrupting you.
The weekend would be awesome. Jason said repairs are simple and timely. That's a big thing. When I order from somewhere, I want to make sure that their tech support, is definitely top notch right along with that. If something goes wrong with my equipment, I want to know that I can contact somebody, a live somebody, not somebody overseas. A live somebody that is willing to either walk me through it and let me know either, hey, it's a user error, or B, hey, send the product on back and I will, repair it for you or in a timely manner, whatever the case may be. So I definitely commend you for that. Not only do you make the equipment, you also can fix equipment. As John Sullivan said, you fixed his REM pod and got it back to him within a timely fashion. So
yeah, if y'all have something that needs repair, contact me. I'll be more than happy to look at it. I don't charge to look at it, only if I fix it.
Awesome. That's good to know.
And that's big. That's very big.
Yeah. So I know you're kind of pressed for time tonight, and we appreciate you taking the time to even come on here. So if those that are watching want to order products, do you have a website? Is it Facebook? Send you a message?
Right now, my website store is not open because I'm trying not to get backlogged. So if you want to purchase something, you can go to www.boozeparanormal.com and just look up what you want and contact me. You can contact me through my email, which is posted on it. You can contact me through Facebook, or you can call me. I can give you my number. It's 804-496-0121.
All right.
Happy to help.
Awesome. You heard it there, folks. boozeparanormal.com. He gave his phone number. You can always go back and listen to the stream again. Fast forward to the end. No dirty pictures. So no pictures of Ron's balls. Jason Green said that's the new product.
The new product, Ron's balls.
He keeps talking about my balls a lot, so I got to wonder about them. But he is a great guy.
We always have fun around here. It doesn't matter, and we hope to have you back soon. Definitely.
Yeah,
once your new product drops, maybe we could do a product review.
It sounds perfect. I'd love to.
Yeah, I got the perfect location for it, so I definitely want to talk about it once I use it.
And I want to join you at that cemetery one time.
I'm waiting.
Come on down.
Come on. I think Howie's coming down here soon.
Yep, ASPS is coming down here in May.
Come with Howie. I welcome it. It's a very cool place. It's a lot of history there. I can't really announce where it's at and what it is, but if you want to
understand that.
But it's a lot of history, a lot of cool stuff there. It's awesome. And the evidence that I've already gotten there is actually, in all the years I've been investigating, until recently, the only apparitions that I've ever gotten on camera have been in this cemetery.
And any other teams that are watching, if you are interested in setting up a time for just us and your team to investigate, please send me a message, and we can definitely make that happen.
Yeah, we are open to booking investigations there.
So,
in the cemetery.
Yep. I think I'm friends with almost everybody. John Sullivan, Ronnie Anderson. I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, but either way, Hill City Paranormal. Send me a message. And D Down said she's been trying to get in the cemetery.
I got you, D. I will take you over there personally. I got you. I will pick you up and take you personally.
For those that don't know, D Downs is the mama of Mr. Elliott.
Mama,
So
I love you.
she keeps making jokes about wanting to go to the cemetery. So we've got to pick her up and take her. And then, yes, Ronnie Rickard is getting tickets for your next cemetery event. Hold on that, Ronnie. I'm about to drop a promo code here in the next week. So watch for that post. I definitely will post it on the event. Jason, send me a message. We can discuss that. And that's about it. That's all I got. You got anything else?
That's all I got for now. I definitely want to get Ron back though after.
For sure.
Yeah, because that product's going to be fire, I believe. And I definitely. There's one place in that cemetery that has had a crazy amount of things happen. And I can't get any evidence with anything I have. And I believe that's going to be the one thing that gets it.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So, folks, stay tuned for part 2 coming at you soon.
Yes.
Again, I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
We're Hill City Paranormal.
Thanks, Ron.
Ron, Booze Paranormal.
Thank you for having me.
For joining us tonight.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful night.
Do the same.